Hello all and welcome back to another model railway video. Now, previously I did a video on the Victorian Railway's T-Class locomotive by Bendigo Rail Models. Today I'm going to be doing a follow-up to that video and looking at Bendigo Rail Models' other class of engine that they produce, and it is the P-Class locomotive. The P-Class is a very nice model, very cool looking locomotive. This particular version isn't in Victorian colours, it's in the Pacific National colours, and it is P number 21. So the P-Class were the model that was produced after the T, so it's quite appropriate that I'm doing them in this order of looking at them. But I want to point out one very interesting thing about the two particular models I have, which is T338 and P21. Now, T338 was rebuilt into a P-Class loco, and it was rebuilt as P21. So technically, even though they look completely different, there's two models here, these engines are exactly the same locomotive. T338 became P21. So that's quite cool. I don't have models like this, two different generations of the exact same engine to quite this extent. I do have some that have just been modified slightly in paint scheme, but not in terms of a complete modification to the locomotive. That's really cool. I'm not going to be doing a full-on comparison video about these. It's mainly looking at the P-Class. Just while they're there though, you can obviously see there's quite a lot of differences, and also the models themselves in terms of the features that they include. The P-Class definitely has had a few little tweaks done over the T-Class, including the motor's a lot more quiet. I don't know if it's a different motor, but certainly much quieter. And one big thing for me is the lighting. The lighting on the T-Class locomotive is a bluish white colour, whereas these are a nice orange, warm glow orange colour, and that is what they should be. Locos of this particular era, they weren't fitted with LEDs, so the blue colour in the lighting doesn't look realistic, whereas this engine, even though it's a lot more modern, it has been fitted with the correct style of lighting, a nice orange glow, real nice to look at. It just makes it look a whole lot more realistic when it's running. Anyway, I'm now going to move on to having a close look at the P-Class locomotive. I'll take a close look at the detail, and then I'll put it on my HO gauge layout and give it a run. So, let's get into it. Right, so let's have a close look at this locomotive. Now, I'm going to start off having a look at the prints and plates on the side. It has a brilliant Pacific National print right here on the side. Stands out really nice, looks really good. The only thing is if you're looking at it directly side on, but this is just simply how the real thing would have looked, the handrails do actually cover it a little bit, so it's a bit hard to read if you look at directly side on, but if you go like that, you can see it. And of course you're looking down on a model railway most of the time, so it should be pretty easy to see. But it's been done really nice, looks really good. There's also a whole lot of small little prints on the side. You've got a danger print right there. I don't know exactly what that says. It's a bit hard to see from here, but I can definitely see the danger symbol. There's some very small prints. I can't see those really at all. What they say you might be able to on the camera, but I can't from here. But there's a little print there, and one right there. And they're very small, but they look really good. They don't look like they've been done sloppily. They're quite straight. They look good. You've also, once the camera focuses, you've got the brilliant P21 plates on the cab. These are separately fitted pieces, I believe, and they look stunning. Really good. They stand out, and from a long way away, if I bring it back a bit just slowly so the camera's got enough time to focus, you can still see them pretty prominent. They look really, really good. Now, in terms of other details that are on the locomotive on the side anyway, you've got the fantastic arrangement of different vents and panels. There are some see-through vents that are separately fitted. I believe that's a separately fitted piece, and the same with that one there. They look fantastic. They look really, really good. There's other little vents that are just etched into the bodywork, and of course the large amount of panels. There's another vent there. I don't know if that one's separately fitted. It looks it from here. But yeah, no, it looks really, really nice. You've also got some nice handrail work. Now, I think it's fair to point out, this wouldn't come on the loco, well, hopefully not originally. I got this model second hand. It was a mint order. It had never been run. It was just kept on display from what I was told. but when I got it, I did notice these nicks in the handrail paintwork. I don't think this is how they would have been manufactured. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, that's what my one has on it anyway. But besides that, the handrails have been really nicely applied. They look really good. They go all the way along the length of the loco, nice brackets and all that. They look really good. And again, handrails on the side. Now this is one big difference from the T-Class engine. The T-Class engine doesn't have any handrails like that. It may have them just on the ends and just close to the cab work, but not all the way along the locomotive itself. These look really nice. I like how they've been done in the yellow, just to make them stand out from the green, and of course this is how the real things would have looked. It looks really, really nice, and they're nice and straight pretty much the whole way through. Yeah, really, really cool. So other details that you can see from the side, I'll have a quick look at the cab from just this side view. You can see there's a little bit of cab detail in there. Of course you've got a driver, there's a crewman either side. One would be a driver, one would be a navigator, or just a person riding in the cab with the driver, I'm not sure. But yeah, they've been nicely fitted in there. You've got the nicely applied windows with the clear plastic. You've got the little bits and pieces going on around the cab area. I believe those look to be mirrors. I think they're not actual mirrors on the model, but I think that's what they would have been used for. But yeah, they look really nice. You can also see there's the little divide there where the windows meet. That's been really nicely done there. And then you've got the rivet detail around the edges. It all looks really, really nice. Near the front of the loco, you can see where the lining comes around the front. There's a crest on the front, which I'll get to in a minute. But that looks really nice going along there. And you've got it on the back as well. So you can see it going around that edge. And you can see this handrail on the end here, very similar to the T-Class engine. I'll talk a bit more about that in a moment. Nice bogie detail, they look really good. You've got a nicely done fuel tank. There's a bit more detail than what was on the T-Class. You got your measure point, and there's your painted fuel cap. Looks really nice. Yeah, good detail there. You've also got nicely done steps. I like these, is because they've got the, what would you call it, like gorse sort of style. It looks really, really nice. You can actually see right the way through that step, like you can see my finger through it. Looks really, really cool how they've done that. Looks nice. But yeah, that's pretty much all from the side view. You can also see other bits of detail from the side. You've got your exhaust, big vent on the top. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see these ones, because these are a lot smaller than what were on the T-Class. But you've also got the tiny little eye hooks that you would use to lift the panels off the top of the engine. They look really good. And you got them also on the top of this vent here, which are a little bit larger. Other little details all over the place. You've got the horns. There's one set of horns there. They've had a bit of an issue in the factory with the front horns. You can see the mould hasn't exactly gone to plan, and it's quite deformed. But I don't mind. It's a quirky little thing about it. It makes it different than the others. It looks quite interesting. But yeah, I don't think the other ones will look like this. There might be one or two where the horns may have been deformed, but yeah, you'll have to have a look at your model quite closely if you get one of these. But yeah, I think it looks quite funny actually. But yeah, so that's the side of the model. I'll move on to the front now. So from the front, you can see this looks like quite a beastie machine. Now, the main difference, of course, compared to the T-Class engine is the nose doesn't go right level with the cab. The cab is actually raised slightly as well, and you've got windows in the centre. They've been really nicely done with the clear plastic. You can also see the real fine window wipers on the little side windows, one there and one on the other side there. They look really, really nice. There's also we'll start at the top mainly. So you've got the P21 prints on the little number boards there, and then the lighting in the middle. That looks really, really nice, and with the yellow background there, looks really, really cool. Again, a front view of the really deformed air horn. The rest of it, except for that front horn, look really good, but this one here, it looks like it's pointing up like a trumpet. It looks quite funny. You've also got some more small lights that are here and here on the front of the locomotive. They look really, really good. And you've got this stunning outline of Australia on the crest. Instead of the Victorian Railways engines, which had VR, this has a nice crest on the front with the Australian outline there. That looks really, really cool. And typical Australian colours, the yellow and green. I've seen a lot of engines like the Australian National Railways have got quite a few engines that are in this sort of colour scheme. This one's of course in Pacific National colours, but yeah, very similar, looks very good. You've also got quite a bit of detail. Oops, my hands will stop shaking. Of course you've got the nice handrails that go around the front, but you've got all this detail on the front. You've got the coupling lifter and you've got the chain there. For some reason the chain's popped out, but it's just sitting up there on the bar. But that's there. You've got the little hose details on that side and that side. That looks really nice. You've got your knuckle coupler. Nicely presented one. It's not deformed. Looks really good. Yeah, nice detail on the front. Looks really cool. I'll now go to the back. Let's have a look at the back. So again, you've got the outline of Australia on the crest there. You've got some nice lighting arrangement. You've got your lights up there, your number boards at the top. Not outlined in yellow like on the front, but it looks really, really nice. You've got the side lights there as well. They look really, really good. And the same style of coupling arrangement and things there as well. And then of course you've got this handrail on the back. This is a very delicate piece, so if you get one of these, be very careful. It's because like on the T-Class engine, this is very finely done. Looks really realistic, but very, very delicate. I'll turn to the side now and we'll have a look at the other side. So again, you've got pretty much exactly the same. There's a few little vents and details that make this different. There's a few different prints on there that make them different. Makes it different from the other side. But yeah, very much the same sort of format there. And we'll have a look at the top of the loco now. I'll turn it back the same way. So you've got, again, nicely done vents. You've got this vent on the back here, which is see-through. That looks so cool. I love how they've done that. And there's actually a detailed piece inside there, by the look of it, some sort of component, which is under the vent. That looks really, really cool. I love how that's been done. And of course you've got your panels on your top, your exhaust. You've got the vent on the top, and you can see there's a fan blade underneath that vent. That looks really cool. It would be really nice if it actually worked and turned, but I don't think it does. And yeah, that is pretty much all the detail on the roof. And you've got the underframe. Now you've got some switches underneath on this thing. There's your Bendigo Rail Models crest, and it says it there at the top. And it says, what does it say? Headlight and marker light. I'm assuming that's the headlight. Those are the marker lights. Not sure. Okay, I just went and checked that for myself to actually see what those were, and I did flick them, one of the switches off. I flicked the marker lights one off, and it is definitely, those are the marker lights. So now I know what those are. They're marker lights. So that is what they do. So if you switch that one off, it switches those off, and the headlight switches off if you switch the headlight switch off. So it's quite cool that they've got that option there, so you can change it around on, even on just DC. That's really cool, because I guess you would have the lights on in certain situations, so it's quite cool that you can change them around. That's really neat. So yeah, this is a brilliant little locomotive. I love the colour that it's in, and as you will soon see, the performance of this thing is fantastic. I've also got two Oscision Models wagons which I bought second hand not that long ago, so I'm going to try them out in behind the loco when I run it around today. So, should be good. Right, we'll get it onto the track and give it a run. Here we go. Right, so the locomotive is down on my HO scale layout. It's all ready to go. I'm going to give it a run around the layout light engine to begin with, just to see what it can do, and then I will put the two wagons I've bought in behind it and give it a really good run. So, here we go. So there we go, folks, the Victorian P-Class locomotive P21 in the Pacific National colours by Bendigo Rail Models. What a brilliant machine this is, and I've got to give Bendigo Rail Models credit for this loco because they've actually resolved things that were, in my opinion, incorrect with the T-Class engine, mainly the lights. For me, that was a big thing. You guys, I don't know, you may not really care about it. Me, in particular, I do like to have that warm orange glow rather than the LED, especially in vintage locomotives. It's really cool that they've included this, and I love the fact also that you've got the ability to turn your lights on and off. You can turn your headlights on and off, you can have your marker lights on and off. That is such a cool feature, I really do like it. Really nice livery, good performer, overall a really nice locomotive, and it's good for pretty much any layout really in terms of your curvature. It can get around really tight curves. It's a nice small sized engine, and for the Victorian railways, these, even though they were used on some mainline freight workings, compared to the other Victorian engines, these were very, very small, especially in their height. The T-Class, of course, were way lower because the cab wasn't raised like this one is, but yeah, still very small in comparison to other engines. Very good. I hope it's been an enjoyable video, folks, and I will hopefully have this double unboxing video coming soon, but if I can't do it, I've got one engine all ready to go. I've just had an issue with the second locomotive, but if it doesn't turn out that I can get that issue fixed in a quick amount of time, I will simply just do one loco at a time. I'll have a look at the engine that is all ready to go, and then later on I'll have a look at the other locomotive. But I would say it's not a big problem. I'm not going to spoil anything to do with it. It's not a major issue at all. The model simply came with a piece missing, and you'll find out all about that in the long run. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Very good. Hope it's been enjoyable, folks. Have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.